Nick Wright is beaming. Brandon Marshall knows
Jenna,
why.
how many of us are out here right now? Jenna, how many people are here?
Four of us. Four of us.
Four of us. Four of us.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Might be the theme of the day, Jenna.
Five.
All morning.
What happened to the
all week? All week, Wilds. All morning, all week.
All week.
Might be all
right.
month.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah. You're going to celebrate a whole week?
Oh, I mean, maybe all
maddening,
year.
Brandon,
2020 has sucked, man, so you got to take the wins where you can find them.
He no longer has an undefeated Chiefs season to hang his hat on, so we are going to hang our proverbial hats on the Lakers right now. What didn't happen in Game 5 happened with gusto in Game 6. After 3 months in the bubble, the Lakers are the last team standing thanks to LeBron James. LeBron once again set the tone early last night. Lakers used a monster first half to pull away from the Heat. They never were in this one, Miami. Lakers take home the title. That is number 17. LeBron takes home Finals MVP. That is number 4 for him. Here is a very relieved LeBron James.
It don't matter where it is. If you win a championship, a bubble, Miami, Golden State, it doesn't matter. When you get to this point, it's one of the greatest feelings in the world for a basketball player to be able to win at the highest level.
All right, Nick. I'm just going to give us your reaction. What was your reaction to LeBron and the Lakers winning what you knew they were going to win late last night?
Yeah, I'm just shocked anyone expected any different. And by the way, a lot of people did. I mean, LeBron's going to LA for the movies. That was a good one. LeBron's entered the Jordan as a Wizards phase of his career. That one made me chuckle. I think my favorite one was LeBron is ruining the Lakers' young core and chemistry in the pursuit of Anthony Davis. How's that working out? And the thing is this, what I'm most surprised by is that people are surprised by this. Why would anyone have ever expected anything different? LeBron James went to the Miami Heat. They had not won a playoff series in 4 years upon his arrival. By year 2, they were champions. LeBron James went back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They hadn't been to the playoffs in the previous 4 years after his departure. By year 2, they were champions. LeBron James went to the Los Angeles Lakers, who had not played in a playoff game for 6 years. And by year 2, they were champions. This is what LeBron James does. Takes franchises who are nowhere near competing for a title, whose best days are far, far behind, or in Cleveland's case, never existed. And within around 700 days of his arrival, they're throwing a parade, or as the Lakers will have to, throw a virtual parade. That's what Brandon, the greatest player of his era or any era, does. And he just proved it once again in this unprecedentedly odd NBA season that just came to a close.
Well, I mean, let's take it a step farther. It's not just an odd NBA season. It's a odd year. It's a terrible year for everyone in the world. And that's the first thing I thought about when I saw that confetti drop. I thought about, a year ago, them going after AD. And you got to remember, he wanted AD his first year in LA. It just didn't work out.
Yep.
So the anxiety and the toil around getting AD was a lot. And then you go to, this entire, the beginning of this year, them being in the middle of racial tension, not racial tension, but social injustice in China. The Lakers was in the middle of that. Kobe passes away. That rocked not only the NBA to the core, but the LA Lakers to its core. So you got to think about how this entire year played out. Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, racial tension soaring. Then there's a restart. There's a reboot. Who's going to play? Who's not going to play? Should the players go back to the NBA season? Like the amount of pressure on these guys going into the bubble, it was unbelievable. So that's the first thing I thought about when I saw that confetti coming down, was how they were able to manage, how they were able to lead and do this in the middle of all of this stuff going on in 2020 and going back to the end of 2019. There was a lot of teams that wasn't prepared for this moment. There was 3 teams that was ready. The Celtics, that was the Heat, and that was the Lakers. And that's a testament to everyone in that organization, because a lot of people broke. There was people on that team, Dwight Howard, who was struggling, didn't want to come back to the bubble. I mean, didn't want to go to the bubble, who talked openly about how hard it was. So this is a tremendous feat. Hats off to the Lakers. Hats off to the Miami Heat. I mean, we didn't get a chance to talk about this because we didn't have a show this weekend. But come on, man, Game 5. Think about Jimmy Butler. Man, that was a great display of basketball. That was a thriller. I just want to say thank you to the Miami Heat and the Lakers for giving us something good in 2020.
Yep. I mean, I thought 98% of that was excellent, Brandon. The hats off to the Heat. I mean, they played terrible. Well, I'm not going to sit here and say like the Heat were that was not an interesting game.
They won their championship in Game 5.
Okay, that sure.
Hey, man,
that was just like I felt a little disappointed the way that they came out last. Yeah, they were.
Did they play terribly, or were they overmatched?
They were they were overmatched. It's fine, but they didn't. They just that last game was just kind of brutal. It was good defense by the Lakers. Nick, I want to bring up LeBron's post-game comments. He started talking about respect. Pelinka wanted his respect. Vogel needs his respect, and he needed his respect.
Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting. And every time he wins a championship, he says something interesting. He had, Cleveland, this is for you. But then remember his Heat championships, when his kid from Akron speech, when he said, I can't worry about what everyone else says about me. This seemed to be the polar opposite of that. What was your takeaway on him demanding respect after the championship?
Well, the takeaway was, listen, LeBron sees and hears everything, and especially this year because he's not in the zero dark 23 mode or whatever he used to call it. And this man, who has put together a decade of pure dominance, unseen in NBA history since Bill Russell was doing it when there were 8 teams, just saw the entire media after a brilliant 40-13-7 in Game 5 play the same old hits of does he have the killer instinct? Should he have taken the shot? Did LeBron make the right play? Spoiler alert, folks out there, to my friends Jay Williams and others, if LeBron made it, it's the right play. We got 15+ years of evidence for it. So that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the fact that Jimmy Butler, for a night in Game 5, was LeBron. And to his credit, he was. And you know what it did to him? It made him a non-factor in Game 6. It was so exhausting. LeBron's done that every year for 15 years. That there is somehow still a nightly referendum on how this guy plays, when the answer is better than anybody ever, more consistent than anybody ever, longer at a higher level than anybody ever. So I do think there was, geez, guys, put some damn respect on my name, because nobody's ever done what I'm doing. And, Jenna, the revisionist history that's going to happen as far as, oh, he wasn't doubted. He was. Wilds, I love you. But I saw you roll your eyes when I said one of the narratives was he's entered the Jordan phase of his career.
I don't remember.
Look up the articles after he tore his groin. Look up the articles after he tore his groin, when he came back and said, I'm activating playoff mode, and they didn't get it into gear. Read it. Read the articles, or maybe talk to some of your friends you used to do television with, because some of them said it. So, like, that was all there, Jenna. And LeBron's just reminding America, the one thing you've been able to count on this last decade is LeBron James is going to play in the last NBA game of the season, and he's going to remind everyone who the best player alive is.
All right, well, the Lakers take a